Craig Studnicky from RelatedISG International Realty, welcoming you to our next edition of the Insider Series. Today, we are with Valentina Riquezes. How do I do?
Great.
The last name. Studnicky's kind of a mouthful, but Riquezes, a little bit even a tongue twister for me. But we're with Valentina today. He's one of our top producers from the Weston office. We just happen to be filming today in our East Fort Lauderdale office. Valentina, welcome.
Thank you, and thank you for having me here.
No, it's a pleasure. Your friend Carolina Gertz so wanted me to have you on this series, and I think I know why, having had this brief conversation with you before this. The purpose of this, I say this every time, is so all of your colleagues who are RelatedISG, there's over 400 realtors that work with RelatedISG, get to know a little bit about you and what makes you tick. It also honestly helps sell the culture of what RelatedISG is kind of about. It also gives your competitors, your colleagues in the real estate industry that work with you every day, a little bit of an insight into what makes you tick as well. You're not just somebody with a real estate license. You're a mother, you're a grandmother, you're a human being, and this gives everybody a chance to get to know Valentina.
Great, thank you. Great.
No, it's wonderful. I understand you're originally from Venezuela.
Yes, I am. From Caracas.
From Caracas? I haven't been there in a long time, but for obvious reasons. You know, it's unfortunate. I've probably been 10 years plus since I've been there, but I always used to love going there. I guess the last time I was there was probably in the middle of the Hugo Chavez's presidency.
Okay.
And things just started feeling a little weird, so all my real estate friends said, don't go anymore. But when did you come? When did you come to Florida?
I came to Florida in August 1996, 24 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, a long time.
And where did you land in Florida? Of all the places you could have landed.
I landed in Boca Raton.
In Boca Raton?
Yes. And I lived there for a few years. Great place.
Oh no, my mother lived there. I have a sister who lives there. It's a wonderful place.
It is.
Particularly to raise families.
Yes, great. And at that point, my two daughters, one of them was going to the Art Institute here in Fort Lauderdale. So it was a perfect place. And it wasn't my first time in Florida, but it was my first time living in the United States.
Okay.
But it's good. I got
99% American too. So you
in
probably
Boca, yeah,
in 1996 you were the only Venezuelan
yes.
in Boca Raton.
Only people that came for vacation.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So,
I'm sure.
Yeah.
So welcome to Gringo Land, right? Yeah.
Great.
But they're really nice people, and it's an amalgamation of New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Massachusetts. That whole Northeast thing relocates to Boca Raton.
Oh yeah.
My parents as well from New Jersey. That's why they always wanted to go to Boca.
And the beach is right there.
Is that the only place you've lived in Florida?
No, then I moved a few years later to the west coast of Florida.
Okay.
I live in Naples and Bonita Springs, which is a small town next to Naples.
Well, the vibe there is exactly like Fort Lauderdale, right?
Oh,
No.
I put a lot of miles on my car
Okay,
when
I'll
I
bet.
first moved.
I'll bet.
Just coming here almost every week. But it's a great place. And
It's much more serene.
a completely different lifestyle, completely different. The people that comes from up north, it's more from the Midwest than
Chicago,
from the
Pittsburgh,
Northeast.
that part of the world. Yeah.
But it's great, perfect. I mean, the beauty of Florida is that.
Yeah, but it's a rather diversified state.
Yes.
You really can't make too many mistakes anywhere in Florida.
No,
Anywhere
you're
in
right.
Florida.
There's a place for everyone.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Is that where you got into real estate in Naples?
Yes, I did in 2005. I got my license.
What made you get into real estate? Of all the businesses you could have gone into?
The way the market was going.
Okay.
And I'm originally an industrial designer, so it's completely, it's
Okay.
not completely.
No, but it's congruent,
Yeah,
right? You're
you know.
designing stuff that gets built. It's all real estate.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
And it was good, and then the whole, that time, 2006, 7, 8.
Oh, I miss those years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I survived. I'm still here.
Yeah, well, 2005, 2006,
Yeah.
2008. Let's turn the page and talk about anything else.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Better, yes.
Yeah. So when did you move then? You moved from Naples to the East Coast.
Back in 2011.
Okay.
And I went, at first, for a couple of years, I was doing partial real estate, but then I went 100% because it's the only way.
But in Naples, you were with a boutique company.
Yes.
Who were you with before RelatedISG?
I was with that boutique company when I first started, when I first got my license, and then I went with a big franchise, which was a good experience, learning experience.
What was the franchise? You can say it's
That was Century 21.
Century 21?
Yes.
It's a very good company.
They had a great presence in the area, and up to Fort Myers, Estero, and the islands.
And they have a great training program as
Yes.
well as big
Oh,
companies.
yeah.
Keller Williams, Century 21.
Yeah, and a good way to understand all the lead generation and all the different, tools that we have in
Mhm.
real estate. It was good. And then I moved back to the East Coast, back to Boca for some time.
Okay.
And after being with another small company, then my friend Mike Ambrosio invited me in 2014 to
Mike's
join
the
the
president
company.
of ISG and is one of my co-pilots with RelatedISG for sure.
Love him. They're great.
My conversion story. My father passed away about 20 years ago. My father's last job ever was working for Mike Conversion.
Wow.
My father knew Mike before I did. You'd think that Mike was Mike was like the second coming of the Messiah if you listen to my father. He just adored Mike. So,
Great person.
yeah. Anytime anybody says Mike Conversion, they always smile.
Yes, of
It's
course.
good for Mike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And God
Him
bless,
and Terry.
God bless, he deserves it. And Terry as well.
Yeah.
So you knew Mike, so Mike told you about RelatedISG?
Yeah, that the company was growing, and so I joined.
Okay. So you came down and you probably met young Alex Vidal.
I did. Of course, he interviewed me, and I fell in love right away with the company. I think it was a perfect match for me. Related has this combination of a very personal company with an atmosphere that is very familiar, that helps you to grow, learn, and develop your career, as well as all the good things that we have.
Mm-hmm.
The access to the pre-construction projects and getting to know that's something that fascinated me, because on my design career, just getting to know these buildings made by these amazing architects, it's great just to have them here in Miami. So it kind of like went together.
Perfect combination.
Yes.
And you started when we didn't have very many agents. We were probably 10% the size of what we are today.
Yeah, we were like 35, 38,
Okay, yeah.
something like that.
We were really boutique.
Oh,
Wanting to get big, but very much
It
boutique.
felt big.
Yeah, we that was the great magic trick.
Yes.
We looked big, but we were really small.
Yes. And now I think it's great. And I think, the whole diversity of people that we work here, we're from all over the world, but we love the state. And we live here, and we work here, and we play here, and we know Florida. And that's, I think, what moves us all.
Well, I think so too. I think the combination of, certainly no one's developed more real estate, residential real estate in South Florida than Related.
Oh,
No one.
no.
And yes, it's run by George Perez. He has a phenomenal sense of not just development, but an artistic flair about it, as you know.
Yes.
And anyone who's ever been to the Related home offices, when you walk down the corridors of Related, George is a bit of an art curator himself, and the art that is on the walls is, you've got so much on your mind when you go there for a meeting, and you get easily distracted looking at the stuff on the wall. And I only say that to you because it absolutely influences the way he approaches development, and you have an eye for that. So
Yes.
I'm
And I think it definitely changed the history of Southeast Florida.
Mhm.
That artistic view of the spaces you live in, with everything that Miami, that growth of Miami is, they are part of it, definitely.
Without
Big,
doubt, without
big,
doubt.
important.
But you've been now selling mostly here in the Fort Lauderdale area for a while. People have gotten to know you. And I have no doubt that some of my competitors knock on your door, send you an Instagram message, whatever it may be, asking you, hey, want to have a cup of coffee? Maybe you should consider a career with us. And yet, you stay with RelatedISG. For your colleagues inside RelatedISG, what is it about RelatedISG that keeps you here?
Well, probably what I just told you. It's a great company that makes me, it gives me the space to grow. We have a great atmosphere. We know Florida. We have access to the projects, and we have training.
Mm-hmm.
We have everything that a realtor needs to be successful in your career.
Well,
And I love the people, basically.
well, I appreciate you saying that, because that the people, starting with, I'll say Carolina, who's our executive vice president, she brings a human touch to everything that she does, and I think she personifies the culture that we're trying to bring to RelatedISG, which I can promise you, Valentina, that's a hard thing to deliver every day.
Yes, I agree.
But we do the best we can. Carolina, myself, Liz Lopez, and other members of the senior team, we are committed to all of you. And I think I've said this on those Coffee with Craig's on Thursday. We work for you. It's not the other way around. I know part of our job is to eliminate as many obstacles as we can for you, so that you're positioned to accomplish all the goals and dreams that you want to within RelatedISG.
Oh, I have no doubt, and I think everybody feels it. Everybody that works for RelatedISG, I'm talking to myself, about myself and my closer colleagues, feels like that.
I'm so glad you said that, because I didn't want to leave the witness, but I'm so happy you said that. Thank you so much. Because we really do try very hard, I can promise you. We have good days, we have bad days as well, but we do try to deliver. And it is an exciting place we get to sell real estate in, because South Florida is, it's a very dynamic place. It's growing big time from a population perspective, but it's evolving as well. Like every single week, it feels a little bit different. And in the course of a year, that's a lot of differences, and it influences all of us. Now we're at the point of this Insider Series interview where I love to ask about the Golden Nugget. It's the thing that kind of makes you special, because you're a human being. As I said earlier, this is a mother, this is a grandmother, this is a person who has lived a life, and not everything has gone perfectly. You experience some headwinds from time to time, some setbacks, some disappointments, and yet you continue to propel yourself forward by keeping something in front of Valentina that works for you. It might even call it your secret sauce. But if you don't mind sharing with your colleagues, what is that golden nugget that belongs to Valentina?
Well, I believe everybody has a story. Everybody has a story that it's worth to be listened. And what we do in our, let's say, our goals to fulfill other people's goals, that is very important, because if we listen what they have to say, they're going to be happy with the results, and that's the most satisfying outcome.
How hard is it, though, for you to compartmentalize all the stuff that's going on in your life in a given week, or given month, or given year, and just focus in on what these customers are saying?
You have to take your time. You have to be present where you are, sitting with your client, and listen. If it's a call, a Zoom, or physically, you have to be there. And everything can, be postponed a little bit, but I think that's important, just giving each one their space.
Completely agree with you. Not everybody has that. I don't know if that's a natural gift that you have, or you've developed it over time. It's absolutely essential, but that not everybody has that, Valentina. So many people are more interested in revealing what's going on in their head than receiving what's going on in the heads of those clients. But the payoff for you is what? You just get to sell them a home.
Yes, and see them happy. That's the main thing.
I worked for a guy when I was in my late 20s, a long time ago. And he said to me, one of the things I love about real estate, Craig, it's a happy business. What do you mean it's a happy business? Well, you sell somebody a home. And not only is it a home that they get to enjoy with their family and their friends, over time, it usually appreciates in value as well. So over time, when that person you sell a home to sees you at a ball game, at a supermarket, wherever, they're going to look at you with a big smile on their face, because you were a part of that happiness quotient, so to speak. And you just kind of said it some 40 years later. You reminded me of the story. His name was Don Jackman. I'll never forget him. And I thought, God, what he said made sense. But I had no experience to know what that was really going to feel like. But I have,
On the back, I'm sorry, but on the back, there's a lot of stuff that it's not always happy, and that's our responsibility,
That's
our
our job.
commitment,
Right.
you know? So we need to be prepared, we need to be educated, we need to be knowledge,
Mhm.
and understand the emotions of the other part and create a balance
Yes,
for that perfect
particularly when you're
outcome.
marrying the sellers together with the buyer, or putting mortgage companies together with the buyer, title companies, the whole
Everything.
thing.
Yeah.
You've got to plow the runway so that the buyer can have that wonderful emotional experience
Correct.
that they're either consciously or otherwise counting on. But when they deliver it, I can see it in your eyes. You've had this experience a
Oh,
lot.
yes, and they never forget you.
Yeah, and you never forget the feeling either, do
No.
you? Ever.
Right.
Never.
No,
I know.
no.
I know. Valentina, first of all, it's wonderful having you on RelatedISG. And it's also wonderful to know you as a person. I hope to have you with RelatedISG for the rest of your career.
Oh, you will.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. Folks, thank you very much for tuning in today to the Insiders Edition. I don't know where Carolina Gertz is going to have me next week, but wherever she's going to have me, I'll see you there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody. Bye-bye.